Hello, it's all focused back on the Premier League for Nottingham Forest. How do they pick themselves up for the last 5 games of the season to secure their place among Europe's elite? Meanwhile, for Mansfield, it's relief and another season in League One. What changes are needed there? And for Notts County, being with Mansfield next year is the goal. What chance the stars align for that to happen this weekend? Plus, Nottingham Forest women are invincibles. A lot to digest. I'm Mark Shardlow and welcome along to Team Talk. So hello to you, whether you're watching on Notts TV, online or on YouTube, welcome along. Sadly, it's no FA Cup final for Nottingham Forest, but there is still so much to play for. As usual, I'm joined by our own Bridge Across the Trent. He played for and managed County. He coached and managed Nottingham Forest. He's now on the staff up the A60 at Mansfield Town. It's cheerful Charlie McFarland. Next, another man who's played on both sides of the Trent, with a little trip to Celtic and European football thrown in too. It's Kelvin Wilson. And then a pioneer of local women's football, but when it comes to the men's game, she's black and white through and through. It's Colleen Malvani. Welcome along, everyone. I'm ashamed that Forest didn't make the FA Cup final. Looked an amazing day out there. The fans took over Wembley, didn't they? It was great.
Yeah, the fans were fantastic. You know, I watched it on TV and a few friends in the WhatsApp group sending videos in the fan parks and stuff. It looked great, the atmosphere. Unfortunately, yeah, the result wasn't the best. But yeah, I think the first half of the game, you know, probably let themselves down a little bit. You know, they didn't get started. I think me and Chaz have spoke off camera saying that, you know, changing a few players in different positions didn't help. But he put it right in the second half, I guess, moved things around, and like you've seen, they had the chances to win the game.
Yeah. Disappointing, but I think the fans enjoyed the day, whatever. I mean, you know, we debate about Wembley semi-finals, but actually if you make it and you go there, it's still a great day out.
Yeah, the Nottingham Forest fans were absolutely brilliant. You know, they actually made the day because the city mob, they didn't even sell out, you know. Maybe it's because they're used to going down there every year, you know, 2 or 3 times. But the Forest fans were fantastic.
I loved seeing Joe Worrell do American Pie, by the way, in the fan park. Did you see that?
I didn't actually
what's your
go out my way
what's
to
your
have a look at
karaoke
it.
number, Charlie?
I'm the Drifters, Saturday night at the movies.
Oh, okay.
That's my party gig. So if you see me in town on the karaoke, I'll be like giving it loudy, like Saturday night at the movies.
Yeah. Very good. Have you got one?
No.
Colleen, are you?
No, I don't sing.
All right, Charlie, it's all down to you. Very good. Right, we're going to start with Nottingham Forest, who left the home of football without a win, but felt like they could have got something from their FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City at Wembley. Pep Guardiola's side took a very early lead through Rico Lewis before doubling the scoreline 6 minutes into the second half. That only tells part of the story. An unlucky Forest hit the woodwork on several occasions and felt unlucky not to have got at least 1 goal. The result means Forest put now all their focus into their top 5 race. Speaking after the match at Wembley, head coach Nuno Espirito Santo said he was proud of the way his side represented the fans.
We are disappointed, sad, at the same time proud that our fans stayed till the end to give us the applause. I think with the boys, beside all the situations that happened in the game, the hard work was there, the commitment was there, the desire to proceed and go through was there. But I think after today, and this evening is going to be tough on us. But when we wake up tomorrow, we know that we have big things to fight for. Even though we were unable to control City, which is hard, and create clear chances to score. But I'm very positive that these fine managers are going to adjust them, and Thursday we're going to do it.
Nuno's had a great season. I just wonder about the weekend. Did Pep do him with the way that Pep set up, and Nuno's changes didn't quite work, did they?
Well, you know, with Pep, like he's got the players there. He can play any system he wants, and they're going to win football matches. I'm telling you, and he tweaks it all the time, and he tries to. Well, he doesn't try. He invents other things and sticks it in. But again, we were just talking about it. You know, like Gibbs White, and I can't fault Nuno what's happened this season. Absolutely brilliant. But I don't think Gibbs White would have been happy playing out that right side. you know.
I felt the key players were just a
the
little bit out of position. Really.
Hudson-Odoi sort of played up top with Chris Woods.
Yeah.
Elliot Anderson went to the left and Morgan Gibbs-White went to the right. And that's not what they're used to. They're used to Gibbs-White, number 10. They're Hudson-Odoi playing off the left. And Alang obviously didn't start, a few injury worries. So...
but I guess the challenge is when you've got a small squad, that when there are key players injured or suspended, like there were the fullbacks at the weekend, the manager's really got to come up with something, and presumably he was trying to work a way around the jigsaw. I mean, I was surprised he played George Abbott, who had a decent game, I thought, right back. But
yeah, definitely. I think it's just that, you know, you can't time injuries and things like that, but it's a really bad time being in the semi-final of FA Cup and having injuries. I think what I noticed were how much they rely on their fullbacks in the system that Nuno wants to play, the counter-attack, because it's not just down to the wingers. The fullbacks join in. They're very trusted on the ball, very good quality as well. I'm not saying that Toffolo and Abbott weren't, but they're not, you know, out-and-out fullbacks. Maybe Toffolo, yeah, but he's not the kind of fullback that Nuno wants to use, who can bomb up and down. He's just a steady left back who's just going to sit in. So I think I noticed that that's the biggest thing that Forest were missing on.
And Aino Williams had such fantastic seasons, haven't they?
Exactly.
Yeah. Two of the top players. They've had lots of top players this season.
I think the player of the year can go to a lot of players, but I think them two are probably at the top of the list for the running. So that shows you how important they were to be missing.
Or Chris Wood, or Matt Sells,
or Gibbs White.
It's amazing.
But you know when we talk about game plans, Kelvin, when you've got your game plan and you go into the game and you lose a goal in 2 minutes, boom,
no, it's out the window.
It's out the window.
It's
gone. And to concede in 2 minutes against Manchester City, right, then concede 6 minutes into the second half, these early goals in both halves, it's a big ask. You know, that's why you have to start games a little bit better.
But they had the chances, didn't they, Colleen? I mean, that was a remarkable fight back in the second half.
It was really good, because I think it's like he picked a team with injuries and suspensions, obviously, but as if he was more worried about how they were going to play, how City were going to play, rather than how Forest were going to play and how they were going to counteract that. And as Calvin said, I think that the fullbacks missing were, it was just, it stood out so much to me because they get forward so well, and when they put the ball forward quickly, City's defence have not been good all season, and they don't deal with that very well, unfortunately. They got the early goal and it settled them down, and it gave Forest all to do, and then another early goal in the second half. But they had the chances,
Alanga scores early on.
1-1.
Completely different game again. The only thing I was worried about with Man City just step it up another gear and another gear. You're talking about, listen, they've not had the best of seasons, but I think they're still third, and they're in the FA Cup final. And everybody's moaning how bad they've been.
I thought they did look comfortable, actually, most of the games.
Because I thought, like, if Alanga gets a goal, then it's a different game. Forest have got their tails up, right, and they've made the adjustments. The Gibbs White back in at the 10. You know, they've put Alanga on. They've got Hudson-Odoi. They've got everybody in the right position. And don't get me wrong, they miss those fullbacks.
The thing with it as well, though, even with the chances that Forest had, I'm with you, Mark. Man City looked so comfortable. It was like just little like snippets. Chance, oh, there's a chance. But then after that, it's 10, 15 minutes until they get out the half again. You know, they only got out the half when Man City passed the ball all the way back for long periods. So again, I just don't think the players that he had available suited that game.
And Abbott's inclusion, that reminded me of a Brian Clough pick many years ago. A guy who went on to manage your club at Notts County, made his debut against Arsenal as a teenager, Gary Mills.
Millsy.
Can you remember that? Like coming from nowhere and being thrown in and becoming a European Cup winner.
And Millsy had a great career, had a very good career at Nottingham Forest, at Notts County, at Leicester City. But Millsy, I think the young lad Abbott, and I thought he did well because he's not a full-back, I don't think. He's a centre back. So he's stuck out there. He's having to deal with Grealish, because they played Grealish and the other lad inside forwards and put the strikers sort of in between on the wide areas. So he's having to deal with that, and he's having to deal with Nico O'Reilly bombing forward, who's a handful. So it was a big ask for the lad. But hey, I hope he's learnt a lot from it, and he takes something from it, then goes and kicks on and goes in and gets in the first team at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I mean, I did notice that, and I think you noticed it too, that the balls weren't going out to him. And they obviously changed their way of playing, because I don't know whether it was instructions or whether it was a lack of confidence that he could do it on a big occasion, that he'd not been there before.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed it quite a few times watching it on the game where, one instance, Gibbs White could have gone and gave him the ball, but he tried to cross turn in the middle of the pitch and he got caught on it instead of just playing it out wide to Abbott. Maybe as a game plan, but, maybe a few of the lads wanted to protect him a little bit, seeing like, if I give it him, he's going to be under pressure. Where Aino would have gave it under pressure knowing that he can deal with it, but as a young lad, they might have been trying to protect him a little bit by just keeping him out of, putting him in danger of giving the ball away and costing him a goal, and his confidence is shattered then. So, or it could have been a game plan, I don't know. But they did try and leave him less on the ball for whatever reason. He's a centre half as well, so he might not be that comfortable on the ball.
Yeah.
It sometimes Gibbs White, I call it twisted football. My old manager Jimmy Cyril used to call it twisted football, and maybe they're trying to protect the lad. But if I say, if you're looking at a player, give him the ball, because the managers put him in the team and they trust him. And in certain games at the City Ground, Gibbs White looks at somebody, then turns out and goes the other way.
But
you know what I mean?
Unbelievable, isn't it? This time last year we were talking relegation.
A
year on, we're talking being disappointed losing to Manchester City in an FA Cup semi-final.
Let's not forget that.
Right, that's all for now. After the break, we'll be turning our attention to the club's fight for European football and looking at their final 5 matches in the Premier League. Plus, we'll be focusing on the women who secured their league title too. Hello and welcome back to Team Talk with myself, Mark Shardlow, joined as usual by Charlie McParland and guests this week, Kelvin Wilson and Kaleem Mulvaney. Right, we've spoken about the FA Cup. How about the league and what Forest need to do now, starting on Thursday night against Brentford? We record on a Wednesday. Hopefully you'll have seen this before the Brentford game has finished. Will it affect their mentality losing FA Cup semi-final, do you think, Charlie?
Well, listen, it depends on the personalities, the character of the players, and the manager's experience enough to try and get them between the ears and get them in the right frame of mind. And they've bounced back before all season. They lost a couple of games previous to going getting back on track. So, no, I think they can get back on track. And, listen, there's a massive pot of gold at the end of this. Yeah. Amazing. They must players think to themselves, we could be playing Real Madrid next season. Yeah. Barcelona. What an incentive. What a carrot to dangle. You would be running your socks off. Yeah.
Well, I guess also whilst they missed Yates and Williams and Aina at the weekend, if they come back into the team, then that's a boost, isn't it? That's a big boost. It changes. It just changes the dynamics as well. Brings a bit of energy in there.
Like Chaz just said, it makes the team better. So there's no negative there. I agree with Chaz. It depends on the characters of the players, But I think with the season they're having, I don't think it's going to be a knock-on effect. I think they'll just come back and they've bounced back every time they've lost the game. So I think they know now. 5 games, it'll be 5 games, put your all in it. Nuno's probably said, just commit your life to this next 5 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it may be. Get the job done and then go and enjoy your holidays and things like that. So that, the players will, like Chaz said as well, to know that you could play PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and these players will want that in their career, So they'll, I don't think it'll affect it.
Chance, Kelvin.
I personally think this is the best chance for Forest to get into Europe. Yeah. This
Can't
season.
be guaranteed going forward. That's the thing we've learned from the past. I mean, all our clubs, we think that when we get success, it's going to continue, but it doesn't always happen like that. Kaleem, just have a look at the table and tell us what you make of the top of the Premier League. How do you read it?
I think I said previously that it's the weakest Premier League for a long time as for standout teams that we've expected to excel in a season. So it is Forest's best chance of getting near this, I believe. Brentford they're a good solid side. They've got nothing to play for by the looks of things. I can't remember.
Well, I think they might sneak into a European place, so they might still have a little sneak in there, I think. Yeah.
Mentality, as Chaz and Calvin have said, that they've got 5 cup finals and they need to treat it as one-off games and just go for it.
Yeah.
Because they've got everything to lose. They've been there for a long time now, up in that spot or the top spots, and who knows? I wouldn't like to predict. I really wouldn't, because looking at the fixtures as well, Leicester, we expect them. They've been everyone's beating them.
Yeah,
however, it's a local East Midlands derby. Vardy is still there, and you just don't know. And then they've got, I think Palace is probably going to be a tough game as well.
Yeah. Here's the next 5, Charlie. So how do you see this? I reckon it's two wins out of those and a draw. 7 points to me will do it.
3 wins and they've done it. That's what you're saying to the players. Yeah. Like, obviously, no, you're not saying 3, you're saying 5 wins, because there's nothing to stop them going and winning. Yeah. And if you look at the running, and listen, on paper, you don't play on paper, and the Premier League's so unpredictable this season. But you're looking at the teams have got to play, and you would take that. If at the start of the season, if you say to Nuno, at the end of the season, you've got these 5 games, and you probably need to win 3 out of those 5 games, he'd go, yes, I'll take that. And you're hoping for a bit favour from Liverpool on Sunday at Chelsea. Yeah. So if Forest can win the next 2 games, they beat Chelsea, then all of a sudden it's like.
So it's not a must-win. I think you say that Brentford is not a must-win game.
Don't get beat.
But at the moment, it's probably 7 points from 5 games. Should they lose to Brentford, it's 7 points from 4 games, and the pressure seems to ramp up.
Yeah, exactly that. I think it's out of Chelsea, Forest, and Villa who are going to get that final spot. I think Newcastle are coming on really strong. I think they'll finish in there. Again, Manchester City, they're getting the job done. They know how to do it to get into the European places. So I think it's out of them 3 clubs. Forest, I agree. I think with Chaz, don't lose tomorrow night. That's a big one. And then from there, with the games that you see, I agree. It's Leicester. Yeah, you expect it. West Ham, I think you're looking to take 3 points as well. Palace are on the up. Their tails are
Then I'm looking at
really
Forest Chelsea final day.
There you go.
I do not want that to be a final day decider.
I'd love to see it a final day decider.
But
Forest beat them.
I think the only thing that's good about that is that it's at the City Ground. Imagine that final day. Whoever wins that game gets into the Champions League, and the fans, they are a 12th man. It's simple as that.
Wow. Well, that would be an amazing occasion. If that was to happen. Just one thing, changes in the Forest board this week. That's come out of Company's House. Just before we broadcast this, 3 directors, including Johnny Owen, are out, and 3 new directors are in. All 3 are belonging to us, directors of another company that's based in Gloucestershire. I don't know what it means. I don't know the analysis of it. I don't really know the 3 new directors. I suppose the one thing I would say about this season is that it's been stable for Forest, and stability seems to have brought success. I mean, Forest have made the headlines on the pitch and not off it this season.
Yeah, I think that's been, obviously on the pitch counts. That's where the business is really, but obviously the business is off the pitch as well. And I think having no distractions off it has definitely helped. As a play, people say, well, it's got nothing to do with you, just play. But you do hear it, especially if it starts affecting you as a team. So I think that's been a massive thing for Forest this year, having nothing going on. Obviously, I don't know what's going on, but the timing of it is a bit strange. Could they have not waited to the end of the season? Obviously, I don't know the reasons they might have had to act on what they've done. But yeah, I just find it as, can't you look at it and think, right, there's been nothing going off. We're flying. The concentration, everyone's concentrating on the pitch, not off the pitch. So I don't think it's going to affect the players at this stage of the season, but I just feel like, have you not learned that things off the pitch obviously translate onto the pitch, and we've had a great season.
The best news is the positive news coming off the pitch, and it's how Forest have performed this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any benefits with this new company. I don't know the ins and outs.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd need to know how it's going to benefit the club, or how they think it's going to benefit.
And there's a lot to do with the
there's a
ground
lot,
redevelopment in Europe and that.
yeah.
So maybe
So we can't really
perfectly
say,
good. Okay.
you know, the ins and
Right,
outs.
let's leave the Forest men there and go to the Forest women. And well, their celebration at the City Ground, they've been promoted to the Championship as Invincibles, the Northern Premier Division champions, thanks to their 7-2 win over West Brom at the weekend. Here's some of the match action. Carly Davis's side went into the game knowing a point would secure the title, but they went for the win and took a 2-1 lead into half-time, thanks to that penalty from Charlie Wellings and a Sophie Domingo strike. They then start the second half as they meant to go on through a Mel Johnson brace before Holly Manders scored Forest's fifth, and Mel Johnson netted a hat-trick and then her fourth before the end. So what a way to finish the season. And speaking after the match, head coach Carly Davis reflected on an incredible season for the women.
Just pride. I'm just so proud of everybody involved in this journey. You know, we picked it up 2 years ago now, took the club from amateur to semi-pro and then from semi-pro to pro this year, and it's just been an unbelievable journey in the time, effort, commitment, sacrifice that everybody's put into achieving our goal. I can't thank everybody enough. I mean, to go unbeaten is an unbelievable achievement at any level of the game, and that just shows the quality of this group. We never settle. We always are chasing better standards, and we set high standards for ourselves, and I think that's ultimately why we've achieved what we had. This group are a special group.
Right, Colleen, someone who's been involved in women's football for many, many years in Nottingham. How pleased are you, even as a black and white?
Even as a black and white, I have to, I'm pleased for them. Well, you know, I'm trying to be pleased for them. But they, you know, they're so fortunate to have the backing that they've got, and just I hope they can continue it. It's, you know, it's a local women's team, so that's great. And it's just, I just hope the club commit and let these players take the club the women's club as far as they can go. I didn't see many in the crowd there. I don't know if that was...
I think there were 3,000.
Oh, there was.
There,
Well,
so it's not too bad.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's good. So
to say it was the same day as the semi-final.
Same day, of course. Yeah. But no, I just hope they continue with the backing for them, because it's a great achievement to go unbeaten all season. As Carly says, at any level, it takes some doing.
Yeah, let's
good
have a
luck
look
to
at
them.
the table, because it makes
Absolutely.
great reading, doesn't
looking
it?
At the
there
goal
it is.
difference there. I mean,
Played 22, won 18, drawn 4. Goal difference 71. 3 points in it to Wolverhampton Wanderers, but it's a step up next season, Charlie.
Yes, it's another step up. It's still a bit tight, 58-55, so it wasn't a foregone conclusion. And again, what happens is when you go up the next league, you have to improve. You know, there'll be some players go, there'll be some come in. If they really want to back it and go again, we'll find out about that. So, no, I'm really pleased. And we spoke about it before, about the investment in going full time, which would help them. The club have did that. They've got their rewards. Now, they'll probably need more investment because it's a higher league. I wish Carly would smile a wee bit more.
She says the same about you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she's as grumpy as me. She's just won the league title and she's won the League Cup. Have a wee smile. She may be happy inside, I would say.
Right, Charlie McParland giving lectures on being happy and smiling. I've heard it all now. Right, that's it. After the break, we'll be talking Mansfield Town, who are safe, and Notts County, you know they're in the playoffs, but could the crazy inconsistencies in League Two mean a final day automatic promotion is still on the cards? We'll look at that next. Hello and welcome back to Team Talk with myself, Mark Shardlow, joined by Charlie McParland, Kelvin Wilson and Colleen Malvani. Into League Two and Notts County, who have guaranteed at least a place in the playoffs after their 3-1 away win at Harrogate Town. George Abbott opened the scoring for Notts 33 minutes in, before Harrogate's Jack Muldoon levelled the score 4 minutes later. However, an inspired second half by Stuart Maynard's side, including a brace by Conor Grant, saw them push on to victory and secure a vital 3 points. The win means Notts will definitely be in the playoffs, but could push into the automatic places on Saturday if results go their way. Speaking after the win, Maynard said their focus is on themselves and just taking it game by game as they've done all season.
A little bit sloppy, probably a little bit nervy. Obviously, we knew that this was a big game for us and a big 3 points. But once we got in at half-time, calmed them down, and we come out in the second half, the lads were absolutely outstanding, and some of the goals we scored were brilliant. No, I didn't expect it this time last week. And look, we've just got to go one game, like I said in my presser before, and it is boring, and I keep saying the same things, but it's the truth. We've ticked 3 points off here, which we knew was a massive 3 points. It cements us in the playoffs, which is a great achievement for the squad with all the adversity that we've had to come through this year with injuries and stuff. So now, look, we've got one more game and we go fight and we'll see what happens.
Well, Colleen, you were at Harrogate.
I was, yes,
A cute small ground.
Very small ground,
a beautiful part of the world.
It was.
How did you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it. First half, it was a bit nervy. You could see a few passes going astray. But once they settled down in the second half, they were really good. They're probably the best I've seen them for the last few weeks. Which goes without saying when they're away. Why they can't do it at home, I don't know. But yeah, it leaves that last day something to play for. And the way that League Two's gone this season, it seems they've been handing it to each other. So hopefully Bradford can give us a loss there. Fleetwood mid-table, nothing to play for. Who knows? Walsall really on a dire run at the moment. Yeah. And then that just leaves us to beat Doncaster, who'll be playing for the league.
What about Notts County haven't won in 4 games. They've had a pretty torrid couple of months, really, especially as you said at home.
At home, it's
what was different in the second half then?
It seemed like the confidence had come back. McGoldrick was again all over the pitch, and he was in defence sometimes. He was middle, he was top, and the players around him. It's like they picked up his enthusiasm, and we're a little bit tougher. But I was saying to Charlie earlier, Harrogate are a very nice team, a bit like Notts really. There's no tough guys in there who put themselves about particularly, and I think they're the teams that we struggle against. I've not seen Doncaster since we played them earlier in the season, so I'm not sure how they play. But I do know that Baldwin got sent off, so. Yeah. Oh no, he's Bradford.
Yeah,
leave that out. Yeah, leave that out. Yeah. So not sure. It was just watching Notts doing what they can do really well. Yeah. Pass the ball accurately, get forward quickly, and it was a joy to watch the second half. It really was. Yeah.
And we should quickly pay tribute to the keeper for Harrogate, James Belshaw, Notts County fan, friend of the show. He's been on a couple of times. Yeah. He won the Supporters Player of the Season up there. Yep, so congratulations, James.
Yeah, you sure he was like at it on Saturday, was it?
Yeah, well, you never know.
I'm only kidding.
You behave yourself. Right.
I'm only kidding.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the. He even got an assist, didn't he?
He did get an assist. Yeah.
Let's have a look at the table. There it is, Bradford, the team to knock out that position, 3 points behind, better goal difference. Bradford playing Fleetwood. Fleetwood have improved quite considerably over the last few weeks. Walsall, like you say, have dropped off a cliff. Yeah. So it needs Bradford to lose and Walsall not to win. And small matter of Notts County winning at home, for it all to happen in automatic promotion. Crazy final day. Who knows what happens on final days, Kelvin?
I'll have a good guess, right? I'll tell you now, right? I think Bradford City will get the point that they need.
Yeah.
I think Notts County will put Doncaster to the sword. David McGoldrick will step up to the plate again. There'll probably be 15,000, 16,000 at the game.
Because if Donny win, they win the title.
Yes. It's a big day. Big players step up. And David will be he'll be what to put a show on, because for me, he's carried Notts County this season. Massively important goals, assists, and when he's on the pitch, stuff rub off on the other players. Yeah, he's had a couple of flaky games like everybody else. But David McGoldrick, the important goals he's scored, the one at Bradford when he's stepped inside and he sticks it. You know what's going to happen. As soon as he goes inside, you know it's going in the top corner. And his intelligent football, when he drops in those pockets, gets people playing little ones round the corner, gets his head up, little through balls. And again, it's exciting again. There'll be 3,000-4,000 Doncaster fans there, the Notts fans will be out. So this is what football's all about.
Yeah.
And I think the manager, I think he's going to be a lucky manager, and I think he'll take them up.
Yeah. Through the playoffs.
I think he'll take them up through the playoffs.
Whoa, don't know if we can stand another day at Wembley.
No, please. It depends who positions. Obviously, are all going to change. I'd love to. If we did get to the playoffs, Walsall would be the team I'd pick.
Yeah. Well, that's
as
probably
for the others,
unlikely, isn't it? When they look at the table, it looks like
Wimbledon are not on a good run either at the
they've
moment.
dipped,
So
yeah.
you've
The
only
worrying thing
got
for me, Colleen, is if Salford
yeah.
get in the playoffs,
Yeah.
because they know how to play against
Yes,
Notts.
they do. Yeah.
They know how to play against
Yes.
Notts, and they've got their card marked.
Yeah.
You mentioned Didsy's goal. I should mention George Abbott, who won goal of the season at the
that
EFL
was a
Awards
set
night
play.
on Sunday. Yeah.
Fantastic goal.
Brilliant.
What a goal. Well worked.
Yeah.
Well worked corner, volleyed it in.
I'd love to keep him.
As the season's got on, the lad Abbott's got better and better.
Yeah.
Which that's what first team football does for you.
Yeah.
These young lads, the more they play, the better they get.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, he's been
What's your view then, Kelvin, on how things are going to shake out?
From Bradford, Warsaw and Notts, the form is crazy for this time of the season.
Yeah.
Because they've got so much to play for. And that they'll kick themselves, the teams that don't go here, seeing where they could have nicked in and gone automatic. It's mental. I think playoffs are playoff. I've been in the playoffs twice. And we've gone in as the form team, as Chaz will know. He was part of us then. Was probably favourites to go up, playing Blackpool, and nothing's guaranteed, is it, Chaz?
Nothing's guaranteed.
No matter, even form. I think going into it with form, it all goes out the window because it's just like a cup final.
Yeah.
Each game's like a cup final. I'm not going to agree with Chaz though. I don't think Notts are going to beat Doncaster. I played to win the league. Obviously, different circumstances up at Celtic, but when you know you're going to win the league and what that gives you it's unreal. You should be fully focused every game. Don't get me wrong, but when it's that day when you can win that title, and it's different motives for everyone. By the way, I'm not saying this is just with footballers, but players want it for status. Players want to go and play in the I-League. Financially, they want it. So there's so much there that Doncaster will, and 9 points ahead of Notts as well. People say never look. You got to look at the table. When I was a player, I used to look, if we was playing a certain team, if we was like third and we're playing a team that's 12th, that would matter to me. I know for some people it didn't, but that was my thing. I'd be like, they're there for a reason, we're there for a reason, we're better than them.
Yeah.
That's it, psychology.
Yeah, so I just feel that Doncaster will turn up, and as much as Didsy is a great player, I'm a massive fan of him. And you need
He's
more.
your mate, come
yeah,
on,
he's one of my
hey,
good mates.
I'm backing him. Come on.
But I just think Doncaster, with what they've got to play for, I think they'll turn up.
Yeah, and you mentioned the form, and we've done it many times looking at this division, but it's there, in front of us on our sheets here. Doncaster,
Their last
three wins.
Yeah, the last 3 games.
The last 3
as well.
games, victories, 3 wins out of 5, no defeats in 5. And then you look at, like you said, the teams that have been chasing. Bradford City, 1 win in 5. Walsall, no wins in 5. Notts County finally got a 1 win in 5. Wimbledon haven't won the last 4 games, 1 win in 5.
That tells you what pressure does to footballers.
Yeah.
That's what separates players playing at the top level, because they can handle that pressure. Obviously, I'm not saying that these players can't, but that form doesn't help the stats to say that they can at this stage. It's a massive thing. The pressure's a big thing. It is a huge thing.
This season, I thought Notts County would have been the standout team in this league.
I did.
Yeah.
So did I.
I did with the players I've got, but I've not seen a standout team this season. No team in that league I've went, they're different class.
Right,
Not like I keep saying it, the Wrexhams, the Stockports, the Mansfield last year. They were streets ahead of everybody else. But this year, this is why they're beating each other, because they're all much
Same, yeah.
They're all much the same.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so exciting. And Notts, wow. And hopefully my prediction's wrong, and they do go up on the day. But imagine a celebration if they go up on the day.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Have you had any last day experiences?
At Forest, my first season when we was in League One, we got promoted to the Championship on the last day, and we had to beat Doncaster.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we had to beat Yeovil, and we needed Cheltenham to beat Doncaster. Cheltenham beat Doncaster. Cheltenham were near the bottom as well. Doncaster missed a penalty on the day as well, and we beat Yeovil and we went up on the final day, which was a great day. That was with Colin Cordell, and then we went to the Championship. So yeah, that was a great day.
Yeah,
unbelievable
I remember
day.
the footage from the change rooms as well at the end of the game. It was absolutely crazy, wasn't it?
It was great, and Junior Gogo was leading the celebrations. You know, God bless him, he's passed away. So yeah, great memories.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I mean, that's why we love football, isn't it? For days like this,
everyone will be tuned in, and Fleetwood score, we'll all know about it, and will the players, and
it's
like
the radios. I love that. I love seeing that as well.
The radios.
You hear the, when you're playing, you hear the cheer.
You do. I remember that was on that day as well.
Kelly, you lot remember this back in the day when they used to have the fans with the radios on their ear, in the crowd like they're telling the results.
Right, that's it for now. We're going to come back and talk Mansfield Town, who are safe, and have our weekend predictions too. See you after this. Hello and welcome back to Team Talk with myself, Mark Shardlow, joined by Charlie McParland, Kaleem Malvani and Kelvin Wilson. We're turning our attention to Mansfield Town now, and they booked their place in League One next season thanks to results around them, not by their own performance on the pitch. Instead, they fell to a 4-0 loss away at champions Birmingham City. Nigel Clough's side were comfortably beaten by a Blues outfit who look almost certain to break the Football League points record. Keshi Anderson opened the scoring slightly more than a quarter of the way into the game before William Thor Williamson doubled Birmingham's lead before the break. Second half goals from Kieran Dowell and Tamiki Iwata saw the Blues romp home to victory. But speaking after the match, the Stags' first team coach Andy Garner said there was a clear gulf in class.
If you want to be really critical, you know, when you have a look, these are quality players and a lot better than us today. So yeah, you learn from that, obviously. But there's still a joy to play here today, no matter whatever the score was. Delighted that they won, and I'm delighted that we're staying up. It's a massive achievement for us. The relief is so unbelievable. Off the players, off the staff, off everybody. It's been difficult. This has been the hardest time of my career and the gaffer's career as well. It's been really, really hard, and we've all suffered because there's been a lot of moaning, a lot of falling out, staff. What stays in the office, it stays in the office. But well, you know, it's been hard trying to find a way.
Well, I love Andy Garner because he does say different things when he speaks. And there it was. I mean, I just made a quick note there. What he said, you know, the hardest time in his career and Nigel Clough's career, a lot of moaning, a lot of falling out amongst the staff, but all that staying in the office. I mean, I guess it's you know, you're going to get that, aren't you, when you go on such a difficult run of games.
Well, you're going to get fallouts among the players. You know, when when you're in the dressing room. I don't know if that's what he means. The players in the dressing rooms, they'll have a pop at each other. Yeah. Because like you're angry, you're losing football matches.
You only won 2 this year.
Yeah. Again, the start of the season, everybody's shouting like, "Oh, they're going to get in the top 6," and I'm going, "Stay calm, staying in league. That's what you want to do." But then the second part of from Christmas on, and like Big Andy says, it's been really tough for them because they could hardly win a football match, and a lot of the games, you know, like the Charlton game, they could have got something out of that, but they didn't. Lots of the games they could have won, they ended up drawing. Yeah. You know, games they could have drawn have ended up losing, and all of a sudden you get in that losing streak. It's the same you get on a winning streak, and the sort of confidence goes, because when they go in the lead, and they went in the lead a lot, they're thinking, "Cool, can we hang on to this?" The game against Reading, 35 minutes, dominated the game, but couldn't finish anything off. They get a first shot on target, another mistake, 1-0 up, and all of a sudden they go, "Here we go again." and listen, that's how you lose football matches. Yeah,
let's have a look at the table then. I mean, the fall has been dramatic since the turn of the year, from playoff position to, you know, Crawley are the team that are going down there after Burton beat Wigan this week, so Burton are safe too. But I've not seen many collapses like that. Colleen, how did you view what's been going on up the road there?
I've got friends who are season ticket holders, and no one's really battered them, in her words, the girl I know, and until Birmingham, who are a different class. Yeah. Injuries, I think, to Lee Gregory has been really significant, but confidence, once you get on this losing run, it's sometimes really difficult to get out of it. And you know, I have to special mention to the fans, because the following at Birmingham on Sunday was unbelievable, because I wouldn't have paid £32 if my team were in that position. Yeah. They were safe, but you know, they've turned out, and they've got the support. I think they'll learn from this season without a doubt. With Nigel Clough in charge, they'll learn from that, no doubt.
Yeah, at the start of the season, the aim was to stay up, so job done. It's just that they started so well and have ended so badly. That's been the difference. But how would players approach the last 2 games, Kelvin? Now the sort of job's been done. Both home games. What do you think?
Get results now because the pressure's off. Yeah, but a little bit more relaxed. You know, if that's right, they've won 2 games this year. Yeah, that's crazy. And I think it says that they lost 22 games this season. Yeah. Wow.
That's how good the form was at the start of the
season. Yeah. That's relegation form. I can't believe that. 22 games in a season. That's. Yeah.
And you know the silly thing. At the minute, if you look at the form book, it doesn't look as if they can win. They've got Peterborough and they've got Exeter at home, and you're thinking, well, the way it's going to go, they can't win these games. But if they go and win those 2 games, it's 54 points. Yeah. And if you're sitting at the start of the season, you go, first season in League One with all these ex-Premier League clubs that are in there, big boys, Birmingham, and you go, we're going to have 54 points. At the end, you'll go, bang, I'll take that all day.
On the flip side as well, that just shows you how strong that league is, because to see that bottom half of the table, the points above them must be crazy. Yeah, so you know that's in, if you can say, in favour of why they are where they are. But again, I can only go back to 22 games losing in a season is like, it's wow.
It feels like, I mean, it's not settled yet, but it feels like Nigel Clough is going to extend his contract another year. I mean, you've said before he loves football. It's a nice fit at Mansfield Town. But he would have learnt things from this season, despite being a manager for, nearly 30 years?
Yeah, when Andy's coming out and saying this has been the toughest time in football management, right, that's a big statement. Yeah. Because Nigel, I think, managed over 1,000 games. Yeah. You know, he's been at Sheffield United, big club, Derby County, big club, cut his teeth at Burton. So he's been involved in over 1,000 games as a manager. Vastly experienced manager and football person. So for Andy to come out and say that, how this is the toughest time ever.
I think him coming out saying that as well, Chaz, is kind of a statement to the board, like this has been the toughest time. Yeah. You know, for us to stay and for us to kick on, there has to be some kind of investment, because there's going to be a turnaround of players because the age of a lot of the players. So there has to be a turnaround. And you know, the injury list there's a reason why. You know, if you look at the lads that have been injured, I bet a lot of them are over the 38 mark. So there's got to be something looked at there. And for him to improve it, there's got to be some kind of investment.
I wonder if that's a change in mentality that's needed from Nigel. He's gone with players that are proven and probably older, and he's gone for an older squad because the players know what they're doing, and they got themselves out of League Two. But actually, it looks like you need to bring young players into League One.
To a degree, Mark, I think what he's done, Nigel's always done. You know, he's got the experienced players. I think the ones that he's got up there at the minute are probably just over the mark now. Yeah. So he still needs to go and get the experienced players, but not at the age of the Flints and these players who are, over the other side of 30 now, 35 plus. You know, if you look late 20s, early 30s, and players that, and not injured a lot, that can play games Monday, Tuesday, because that league is very demanding. So if he looks at things like that, I'm not telling Nigel what to do. He's like Chaz said, he's played a 1,000 manager 1,000 games, is a quality manager. But just looking from the outside in, especially on these stats, that's something that he's probably going to look at, because he's known that experienced players is proven. He's done it at every club and he's been successful. So I don't think that'll change with him. It's just getting that right age of, experienced player.
Okay. But actually, after 9 months from where Mansfield were at the beginning of August, we're going to say
23 years.
job well done. Job well done.
20, that was mission accomplished.
Yeah.
23 years since they've been in League One.
And even longer since they've maintained their position in that league as well.
So it's a success.
Yeah, so congratulations to all at Mansfield Town for a season that's been an up and down one, but ultimately a job well done. Right, time now for your weekend predictions, and this week we've got Forest facing Brentford on Thursday and Crystal Palace on Bank Holiday Monday night. We've got Notts County taking on already promoted Doncaster at Meadow Lane, and Mansfield playing Exeter in a dead rubber at Field Mill. Let's start with those two games for Forest. What are we seeing Forest getting from Brentford and Crystal Palace away?
I'm going for 6 points.
6 points, which will pretty much guarantee the European
wins.
football. 2 wins. Well, that would be remarkable, and the celebrations could start. Exactly. You've made some bold predictions, and you've been right most of the time.
Thanks for admitting that. Thanks for. Did you hear that out there? Hey.
Very good. Yeah, excellent. Colleen, I mean, Charlie's optimistic there. Are you feeling the same?
Yeah, I think they'll win tomorrow night, and I'm not sure they'll get anything from Palace. I think Palace are on a good run at the moment, so I think 3 points tomorrow in total this week.
Yeah. Kelvin, how are you seeing these two games?
I think 4. I think 3 points tomorrow night. I think they'll get a draw at Palace. I think Palace are flying at the minute. Confidence with Sky Eye.
You take a draw.
100%, yeah. Without that, yeah.
Palace are in the FA Cup final now. That wee bit distraction.
Yeah, a little bit, but I just think that'll just give the confidence that they'll get from that 3-0 win. You know, against Villa as well, who are flying. You know, I think
keep Eze quiet.
Yeah,
other good players.
Yeah, and the striker as well, Meta.
He's a good lad.
So yeah, I think 4.
Okay, Notts County Donning.
I'd say he's Notts County.
Notts County win.
Draw.
Yeah,
oh, come on, Colleen.
I can't
What's
see,
the matter with you?
I'm praying for everything that can
positive.
happen.
Doncaster.
Positive
energy. As much as I want Notts to win, I
just
think Doncaster are going to get the title.
And
maybe my heart's ruling my head, but no, like, come on.
Yeah. You've explained that, right? Okay, behave, calm down. Mansfield, they're playing Peterborough on Wednesday evening as we record this programme. They're going to finish off home to Exeter.
Again, I'll take 4 points out of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Point tomorrow night, then a home win against Exeter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. They'll probably draw tomorrow night and a win against
tonight.
Exeter.
Tonight.
Yeah, same. I agree. I think they'll win the last game with
finish off
at home. Actually,
brilliant. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your predictions. Thank you for being with us, Kelvin. Thank you, Colleen. Thank you too to cheerful Charlie McFarland, who is ready and available for advice on smiling and being positive. That's it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you same time next week. Bye bye.